So, welcome everybody. My name is Rachel Hedger, and I am the course coordinator for the early childhood education degrees here at Flinders. And I am going to be talking you through all of the O-Week information this morning. When we get started, I'm actually going to share my screen because the PowerPoint presentation looks a lot better in PowerPoint than it does through Collaborate. So I'll share my screen when we get started this morning. Everyone's a bit shy on the chat. They're not introducing themselves too much. That's fine. It's early on a Monday morning. I'm sure you're feeling slightly overwhelmed by the enormity of the degree that you've just signed up for. So hopefully I can assuage some of your concerns and anxious thoughts this morning as we get started, and I give you a little bit more information and hopefully bring you back down to earth and make you feel a little bit more settled and welcome into your degree here with us here at Flinders. Well done from Malaysia. Fantastic. So I'll tell you a bit about myself first. So my name, as I said, is Rachel, and I have been at Flinders for about 9 years now. So I am a qualified primary school teacher from the UK, and I also have qualifications in early childhood education, and I'm studying my PhD at the moment. So I've worked in schools, in preschools, I've worked in long daycare services as well, and I started at Flinders as a university liaison, so I went out to visit students while they're doing their professional experience placements in schools and childcares. And then I started to do some tutoring work here. About 4 years ago, I took on the role of professional experience coordination. So you might see me in some of those areas still within your degree. And then at the beginning of last year, I undertook course coordination. So if at any point you have problems with your degree, if you have questions, if you have an issue, if you want to discuss your studies in any way, I will be the person that you need to get in contact with. And I also coordinate a number of your first year topics, both in the Masters and in the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education. So you'll probably be seeing quite a lot of me. In fact, you'll probably be fed up of me by the end of this year. But I'm here to help you. I'm here to support you, to make sure that you are successful. And hopefully you're here because that's what you want as well. You want to be successful and you want a career working with very young children. And so I am here to make sure that you can achieve that as much as possible. So I'm going to share with you my screen, and thank you. Everyone's doing a little bit of an intro. Fantastic. So we have got a mixture of MTech and bachelors. That's great. I'll be seeing some of you, the Masters of Teaching students. I'll be seeing you in your EDUC 9222 topic. That's the one that I teach. So I'll be seeing you next week for those tutorials. So for the moment, I'm going to need to ignore the chat because I'm going to be sharing my screen with you for the presentation. So if I am ignoring the chat for the meantime, I will get back to it at the end. If you have any questions, share them. Hello, Jessica, welcome. Share them after the presentation. So just make a note of what they are and I will answer all your questions at the end. Okay. So let's get started with our lecture this morning. And I'm quite open to you asking questions either in the chat or you can turn your microphone on. But if you think of a question you want to ask using your microphone, you can do that at any time and I'll get back to the chat at the end of our session. So welcome to Flinders. This presentation will hopefully give you a lot more information about your studies, general and specific to early childhood. So I'm hoping it will be helpful in getting you to feel a little bit settled into your studies with us. So before we start, I'd like to acknowledge that we meet on the traditional lands of the Kaurna people. We pay our respect to the traditional custodians of this land. And we would also acknowledge and pay respect to the elders of the land, both past, present, and emerging. Another thing I want to do first up is to play the welcome video, and I'm just going to get that going now, to play our welcome video from the university itself, from our Vice President Colin Sterling. So I'll just play that for everyone to see. I'm hoping that works. There we go.
Welcome to Flinders. I'm Vice Chancellor Colin Sterling, and I acknowledge that I'm speaking on Kaurna Yarta, the traditional land of the Kaurna people, and I pay my respects to their elders past, present, and emerging.
Nina Marnie, hello, I'm Deborah West. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which our campuses are located. In South Australia, the Northern Territory, and Victoria. I'm delighted to see so many new students joining us at Flinders, whether you're studying at one of our campuses or online, from the comfort of your own home. You're now part of the Flinders community.
Every year it's terrific to see that so many people have chosen to study at Flinders. I love walking around our campuses, feeling that incredible buzz, and seeing students just like you talking to new friends, sharing ideas, helping each other out. That same sharing nature extends also, of course, to our students studying online.
Hi, I'm Simone Oregon-Turd. As a young Australian out of my country, I also acknowledge and pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land on which our campuses are located. At Flinders, we understand that it's a privilege to be on Kaurna country, and we pay respect to the heritage of this place. We want you to feel welcome to Flinders University and to connect with Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander culture. One way of doing this is through public artwork such as the Jabuka mural, Yarra, the feather sculptures on Registry Road and in the plaza, the new Yungarindu Gorilla meeting, and the gifted words embedded in the plaza stairs.
Your first few days may seem like a bit of a blur. We've all been there. But starting at uni is a big step, and it takes time to learn all the ins and outs. But don't worry, plenty of support is available to help you make your transition to study at Flinders as easy as possible. Flinders staff and student ambassadors can help you access the services you need to find your way around our website, around your course material, around our campuses. Whatever help you need, it's only a click or a question away. And I know from experience that our staff and your fellow students are kind, inclusive, and always ready to help.
So where do you begin? However you choose to study, the Flinders student website is a great place to start. You'll find orientation information that will step you through your first few weeks and plenty of information about university life. Our weekly newsletter, ping, and social media pages will keep you up to date on university events and Flinders news. Flinders is a busy Flinders University Student Association, FUSA, can help you connect with social clubs, sporting clubs, and many other activities. You'll have access to a range of support services, including study and library support, health and wellbeing services, as well as enrolment and course support, just to name a few. Information about how to get in touch with these services can be found on the Support and Services directory on the student website.
You can contact the Flinders Connection if you need to help with your enrollment or course information. The Student Learning Support Service is here for any academic help you might need, including how to write assignments, general study skills, and referencing. You can access study support on campus at the Learning Lounge or online using Flinders 24/7 Studiosity service, or through a wide range of online SLSS study guides and videos accessible via the student website. Our confidential and professional health, counseling, and disability services are available to all students, and you can access those face-to-face, on the phone, or online. Whether you're studying with us online or joining us on campus,
We're confident you're going to love being part of the Flinders community.
And we hope you'll have the time of your life.
Okay, back to our presentation. I'm hoping everyone was able to to watch that okay. All right, so a little bit more information if you need to contact me next. So as I said, I'm a lecturer in early childhood education. I'm your course coordinator. My office is located in the education building on the 5th floor on the car park side of the building in room 5.47. I'm quite happy to organise a time to catch up with anyone who needs course support. If you need particular support about a topic that you're studying, your first port of call would be either your topic tutor or your topic coordinator. And then after that, you would come to me if you didn't get the support you need there, but that's quite unlikely. And if you need an extra voice or someone else to talk to, then I'm always here to support you. My email address is on the screen there as well. If you have general questions about your study, so enrolling in a class or trying to enroll in a topic, or you're not sure which topics you should be enrolled in, then you'll need to send an Ask Flinders request for that. So you can do that via your Okta dashboard, or you can send an email. If you have general inquiries about something in the college, then you can also email EPSW inquiries, and they'll farm your email off to the person that can support you best. So the early childhood team, apart from myself, is we have a small team of academics, and then we have some casual staff that work with us as well. So Tim Garnett is one of our lecturers, and she works within our science education and our design and technology space. Then we have Linda Gray, who works in our professional experience space as well, and teaches some of the numeracy topics. So you might not see her this year, but you will definitely see her around probably. And we have Amy Graham, who is currently on maternity leave, but she'll be returning hopefully in the middle of the year to start teaching some of our pedagogy topics as well. Okay, so this is some general information about getting kind of sorted and organised, ready for starting your studies at Flinders. So one of the first things that you'll need is a student ID card. And you can request your ID card by selecting Order My ID card under the My Systems section in Compass. So again, try and navigate everything through your Okta dashboard or your flow pages. And you'll need your student ID card to complete important university tasks such as borrowing from the library, sitting exams and printing materials. So it's important that you get that started, and obviously it offers student discounts and all those exciting things as well, and saves you a bit of money. So it's definitely worthwhile trying to get one of those as soon as you can. Make sure it says full-time if you're studying full-time. Make sure it says that on your card. And again, any support you can contact Flinders Connect for that as well. If you're on campus, then you can go to Flinders Connect at the main hub, and they'll also be able to help you there. As a new student, you'll need to make sure that you've enrolled in all the correct topics, and I've got this study plan for the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, so I will show you that. The Masters of Teaching is a little bit more straightforward. So if you haven't already enrolled in your topics for semester 1, we suggest you enroll as soon as possible to secure a class time that works for you. So go into the new student section of Compass, and that has all the information on how to enroll, and you can do that through student systems as well. There may be some slight class adjustments that are still taking place or that have happened over the last couple of weeks, and that's because we're trying to work around COVID restrictions and offering online tutorials for students to attend if they're unwell. So we're having to do a little bit of timetable negotiation. On top of that, we have to manage social distancing, and that sometimes means moving classes to a different room. And if that room isn't available at the timetable time, we might also have to adjust the timetable. So you might see some adjustments coming through in your timetable over the next few weeks. It's just worth keeping an eye and making sure you're really clear on what tutorials you've got and when, and double check before attending the campus. There are many options for sourcing textbooks, and many are available to loan from the Flinders Library. If you're looking to purchase, there are retailers such as Booktopia and Jekyll that stock textbooks. So do your research and find the best option for you. Some textbooks will be used a lot within a topic, or you might find that you can purchase a textbook and use it across different topics. So that makes it a valuable purchase. And others might only be used sometimes, or they might be available, readings might be available on the flow page through the readings tool. So you'll need to weigh up whether it's worth purchasing a textbook or not. A topic topic coordinator might also recommend that you purchase a textbook. And some, as I said, you can use across your degree, so they'd be worthwhile purchasing a copy that you can use in multiple assignments. So just think carefully about what the best options are for you and what you can afford at the time. Your required textbooks and resources are available on the student website at the link here. And when I finish presenting, if you want me to paste any of the links into the chat for you, I can do. There are many different ways to get to Flinders, and think about using sustainable methods of travel if you can. We have buses that link our Bedford, Park, Sturt and Tonsley campuses. So there's the Loop bus that drives around all of the campuses, and it comes right up to Car Park 2 here at Flinders Education. So you can get the Loop bus right up to here if you want to. And we also have the Flinders Railway line offering a fast journey from the CBD down to the bottom of main campus. So you can also get the train from the city and from the north if that's helpful to you. When you arrive in the Flinders campus, you'll be able to have access to free Wi-Fi on all your devices. So you'll need to select the EduRoam network connection and enter your FAN and password, and then that will connect every time you arrive on campus. You don't need to keep doing that every time. Staying connected at Flinders is super easy that way. So we have high-speed Wi-Fi access on campus, and also in our participating education institutions and medical facilities. And that includes the Flinders in the City building that you can use for study right in Victoria Square as well. Just a note on safety, Flinders is committed to providing a safe and respectful learning environment for all students and staff. So if you witness or experience any socially unacceptable behaviour or harassment, please make a confidential report, and you can use some of the information in this slide to help you. So our equal opportunities advisors are here on campus for support should you need it. You can report or seek advice and support from our Safety on Campus on the webpage, and there's also an email. Obviously, everything is treated confidentially, and you're respected within your right to do that if you feel the need. Okay, so moving a little bit on to some of the early childhood information more specifically. So within your degree at Flinders, we are sitting within a birth to 8 field. So you have signed up for a degree that allows you to work with children that are from birth to age 8. Age 8 is the end of junior primary schooling in South Australia. So that's the first 3 years of primary school, reception year 1 and year 2. If you were looking to be able to teach year 3 or above, then you would need a primary qualification, which means you need to swap out of this one into a different one. But this course will allow you to work in long daycare, in preschools and kindergartens, and in the first 3 years of school. And across your course, we will make sure that you have experience in all of those kinds of settings. So we have accreditation requirements that I will go through with you in your first lecture regarding professional experience. If you're a Masters of Teaching, then we have that on Wednesday afternoon this week. If you're undergrad, then we will have that in our first lecture in 1221 next week. We will make sure that you gain some experience in birth to 5, in birth to 2 as well, in kindies, preschools, and in school. So everyone will complete a school placement. Everyone will complete a placement in birth to 5 and with babies during their degree. And it's up to you as to when you do those degrees, working around our accreditation requirements. So these are some of the centres and organisations that you might find yourself working in. And some of you might already be working in some of these settings, which is fantastic because that offers you great experience. Did you know that Flinders Early Childhood has a Facebook page? Feel free to follow our page to keep up to date with information and current early childhood education practices. We do not bombard you with posts every day. We do not advertise on our page, but you might find 2 or 3 things a week come up on that page, and you're welcome to scroll through all of the information that's on there to find really good examples of practice, resources, early childhood news. We also post job opportunities on there. So it's an excellent page to join. So the Flinders Early Childhood Education Facebook page. I'm sure you've all grabbed your phones and started searching for that on Facebook, so that would be fantastic. So feel free to join that page and have a look through today when you've got 5 minutes at some of the things that are on there. There's some great examples of some of the practices that we teach and work with here at Flinders that'll start getting you into thinking about the kind of perspectives and the kind of theories and the kind of practices that we promote here. Okay, study plans. So if you are full-time as an undergraduate student, you're in a 4-year course with 4 topics per semester. If you are in a Masters of Teaching degree, you're in a 2-year course with 4 topics per semester. If you're working part-time on your degree, then you have 3 or less topics. So as much as possible, do not attempt to create your own study plan, because I've got a few people doing that at the moment that are coming into some difficulties. So this isn't a bit of a pick and mix, choose what you'd like to do scenario. You really do need to follow the study plan that's been provided to you, or the study plan that's suggested in your student services guide. So if you're not sure at any time, you can ask me or a tutor in your topic or a topic coordinator, and they should be able to give you advice. Or you can look at your course rule, which you can find on the link here, or you can send an Ask Flinders. Bear in mind that this time of the year, our professional staff that work behind that Ask Flinders email are very busy. So if it's something that could wait for a couple of weeks, or you could wait and ask me in tutorials, then do that. If it's urgent, then send an Ask Flinders at this time, because they're just working on making sure everyone's enrolled and that they've joined the right classes at the moment, so they're a little bit busy, but they will be able to help you at some time. So if you're in the undergraduate degree, this is what your study plan should look like, and there will be a copy of this study plan in one of the professional experience handbooks that you are provided with at the beginning of week 1 and into the beginning of the semester, so you don't have to kind of take screenshots of this. It's a bit squishy and a bit small. But you'll see that the majority of you have 2 blue topics in second year and final year. Those are elective topics, so you get to choose a topic that sits in those spaces. So you might like to start thinking about what you might drop into those next year and in final year. And I'll talk to you some more in our lectures about the kinds of topics that you might like to put into those spaces. And then everyone in the undergraduate degree, in the Bachelor of Early Childhood Education, should have a teaching area or a teaching specialisation, and that would generally be science, visual art, or health and PE. So if you haven't selected one of those yet, that's your job for today. You must make sure you're enrolled in one of those, and those are the green topics that sit through the middle of that study plan. So as you can see, you study them 2 this year, 1 next year, and the final one in your final year of study. Any of the pink highlighted areas on your study plan show you where a professional experience placement sits. So you can be expecting to be going out into sites in those pink highlighted sections. So as you can see, in 3rd and final year, you have a large placement topic, which is a 6-week block. And again, I'll talk through this in our professional experience lectures. And this year for our undergraduates, you have a 1-day-a-week placement through EDUC 1221 and 1242 in semester 2. Again, I'll provide further information on that next week in our lecture. So for our first year undergraduates, please make sure you are enrolled in all of the topics in that top row. So choose one from the green section and make sure that you're enrolled in EDUC 1235, 1230 and 1221, unless you've been provided with credit for any of those. And for second semester, you'll need to make sure you're enrolled in 1239, 1238 and 1242, and again, choosing one of the topics in that green section as your teaching specialist. Land tight. Now, if you haven't heard of this already, then this is my introduction to you, and it is some very important information. So land tight, which you will recognize soon as the test that must not be named, because there's always a sharp intake of breath every time we mention this word. The land tight are the literacy and numeracy tests for initial teacher education. And they are the Australian government tests that all initial teacher education students, masters and undergraduates, I'm talking to masters of teaching students here as well, you have to pass 2 tests in order to graduate from your early childhood education degree and work in the teaching profession. So just to clarify, this is for all education students, not just early childhood, primary, secondary as well. All education students need to pass a literacy and numeracy test. You cannot graduate from your degree unless you have passed those tests by the end of your studies. And those tests are run by the Australian government, and I can give you a link to the website where you can find out more information on those. And if you are commencing your studies this year, then you must pass both tests, literacy and numeracy, by the midpoint of your course. So by the end of second year, you should be looking to have passed both of these tests. If you are studying a Masters of Teaching, that means that you need to have passed these tests by the end of this year. This probably doesn't apply to you because most students are, you are mostly commencing students, but for students that are already in our course prior to 2022, they need to have finished by their third year or final placement. So there are some slight changes here with the requirements, so make sure you're very clear on when you need to have finished these tests. If you do not complete them by the time that has been advised, you will not be able to complete the subsequent professional experience placement in either your final year of study or your third year of study if you're undergrad until you have passed these tests. So we actually won't provide you with a professional experience placement if you haven't passed these tests by the midpoint of your course. Okay, so you can carry on with everything as normal for now, with the understanding that you are studying for the land tight and completing that either by the end of this year for Masters of Teaching or by the end of next year for undergraduate Bachelor of Early Childhood Education students. And so we have lots of support material here at Flinders to help you. So we have video modules embedded into core topics. So you'll find that in some of your core topics, you will have some land tight support modules sitting in there that you can work through. There's also questions and practice skills that you can practice on in online workshops. There'll be weekly land tight emails and updates to support you. You can also log into the IXL software, and that will be available in a couple of weeks' time once we've inputted all of your usernames into the system. And again, I can provide you with the links for this separately. You'll need to use your username and password to log into that IXL program, and that's a study support program to help you with preparing for the land tight. If in a couple of weeks' time you don't have access to the IXL program, then our land tight coordinator is Anne Spencer, and her email address is at the bottom of the slide there. So if you don't have access within a couple of weeks from that link that's in red, you can email Anne for support. And we also have a land tight flow site. So that should be already in your flow pages that you can go to for extra support. And if you want to find out more about the tests, or if you want to look at booking in for the tests, then the link at the bottom there will help you. I see someone's asked a question, so I will answer that at the end of the session. Okay, another thing to note, and this should be explained in your tutorials and lectures this semester, is that we use APA referencing for our referencing guide here in education. So that's the American Psychology Association referencing system. And we are using the APA 7th edition for this year. So you can find a link to the APA guide on in this slide, or you can Google Flinders APA referencing, and this guide will come up. So it's important that you follow all of those protocols when referencing in your assignments in topics. And again, more of this will be discussed in your tutorials once they start next week. Something that you might like to consider is training yourself to use a referencing system, and that will save you a lot of time in the long run. Flinders uses this system called Endnote. And if you go onto the Flinders library page, you'll be able to find out when there are particular training sessions for using Endnote. Endnote is a system where you put all of your references into it, and it connects to your Word document so that when you're typing your assignments in Word, you can quickly drop in a reference from the Endnote system, and you don't have to type up the reference in a reference list. The Endnote system will do that for you. And I can show you more about that in our lectures and tutorials from next week as well. But if you have time, book in for one of the Endnote training sessions because it will save you a lot of time writing assignments. Some other requirements that you might already be aware of or you might already have are some of the documents that you'll need for your professional experience placement. So again, this is for Masters of Teaching and undergraduate students, but I will give you more information about this in our first lectures, either this week or next week. You will need a Responding to Risk of Harm, Abuse and Neglect certificate, and some of you have already had information provided on signing up for those sessions where you can book in that and complete that training. Everyone will need a work children check. Again, I will give you further information about that next week or later this week. And you'll need to complete an immunisation certificate. So no one is allowed to go out into professional experience if they're not fully immunised with their COVID-19 vaccines. So you will need to evidence that, but we also need, because you're working in birth to 5 settings, we also need to make sure that you're immunised against all of those kind of general other illnesses such as measles, mumps and rubella, hepatitis, tetanus and all of those things. So we have an immunisation certificate, and again, I'm just kind of preparing you that these things will be needed, but I will talk about them more in the lecture next week or from our MTeach on Wednesday. So by this point, you might be feeling slightly overwhelmed, and that's fine. Here is a list of things that you might help to support you moving forward. So if you're listening to me now going, oh, this is just not what I expected, this is not for me, I think actually I'd be better off in a different course, send an Ask Flinders request and get some advice there. If you are part-time or out of step, or you've got a lot of credit and you're not sure for your degree and you're not sure what you're doing and you need a study template, again, ask Flinders. This doesn't apply right now, but it might, I hope it doesn't apply at all, but if you get into some trouble later on in the semester and you're failing a topic, you need to firstly go to the topic coordinator and talk to them and see how they can support you. All of our topic coordinators in early childhood are very friendly, and we are here to make sure that you are successful and that you feel supported. So don't feel like you can't talk to any of us at any time. If you're having a problem in a topic and the topic coordinator has not addressed the issue or hasn't addressed it in a way that you can feel you can move on, then come and see me and I will help you try and work through those issues. If you're failing a lot of topics for whatever reason, and these things happen all the time, sometimes something comes up, you get an ill relative or you get ill yourself, and things just get away with you, and suddenly you realize you signed up for too many shifts at work and you can't fit everything in and it's all falling apart. If that's happening, again, just please get in touch with me and come and speak to me and I will help you through that process. If you have a disability and you feel you might need some support with your studies, then you'll need to contact Health and Counselling, and they will give you an access plan. And an access plan supports you to apply for extensions without having to explain your disability every time to your each individual topic coordinator. So you can upload a copy of your access plan when you ask for the extension, and an extension will be provided to you. If you have a disability and you're experiencing some issues with discrimination, or if you want to talk to someone in more detail about that, then our college contact is Julie McMillan. And again, I can provide you with her contact details, or you can do a quick Google and you'll be able to find her information. If you'd like to get involved in the social aspects of university, then the Flinders University Student Association, FUSA, will be your best port of call, and I'm pretty sure they also have a Facebook page, so you might like to search for that as well. I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to the Oasis Student Wellbeing Centre, and they are a great support for students on at all times. So they support everyone all of the time in lots of different ways, as you can see down the right hand side there. They have lots of ways in which they will support you, and you can drop into the Oasis Centre. It is near the laneways at heading towards the hub, and I can direct you a little bit more in person if needed. So Oasis is a student community wellbeing centre that focuses on supporting the physical, emotional, social and spiritual needs of students, all students, so that you can achieve academic and personal success. It's located, as I said, at the end of the Flinders Laneway next to Car Park 5, and is a drop-in for students that want a place to chill out or heat up your lunch or meet new people and engage in a raft of wellbeing programs such as conversation groups, meditation, yoga and the community market. For our international students who have English as an additional language, we're also in the process of setting up some conversation groups that will help you to improve your spoken English, which is very important when you're working with young children, because you need to have a very high level of spoken English to be teaching that to the small people that we work with. So we're setting up some of those conversation groups at the moment. Oasis will be opening in week 1 of the semester. But our colleagues there are currently working from home this week, but they're still on the emails and still on the website, so feel free to investigate their website and find out how they can support you on campus. Okay. A little bit more information about what's going on in the next few weeks. So Flinders offers an extended orientation program to help you settle into university life by giving you the information that you need when you need it, so you don't feel too overwhelmed. This week, with everything that's going on, we've got some things happening in the next few weeks to help you kind of acclimatise and feel settled, and it's not just information overload this week for orientation week. It's also designed to help you make new friends and learn about the support services available to you and help you succeed. So Skills Week, for example, is mid-March. Obviously, that will be when you are settled into your timetable and into your topics, and you know what's required of you this semester. So by that week, you might feel that that's a really good time to start thinking about getting support with writing assignments and setting everything out correctly and following the assessment policies and all of that information. So try and engage in some of the events that you see happening on campus, and again, you'll be able to access those via the flow page, and all of the information will be provided for you in there. So you might like to also check out the orientation planner that will have all of the dates and events that you can access over the next month, and you can create your own personalised schedule of events and activities for semester 1. And most of those events will be online, so in bed in your pajamas is also an option here. We also have the online welcome hub, so you can drop into the online Ask Anything sessions to chat with current students and Flinders staff. And again, that's available via the orientation planner. So if you don't ask a question today and you feel like you ought to have, then you can join one of those Ask Anything sessions as well. We also have an orientation video library, so you can brush up on your academic skills and general uni life knowledge by checking out the orientation video library and just search for some of the ones that suit you. They're probably a good thing to watch while you're on the bus or to listen to while you're driving, and you can then just make sure that you're really well prepared for your studies and that you're prepared for success. But seeing as most of you have joined this session today, that's also a great way of making sure that you're prepared. Getting prepared for uni can also be helpful if you complete the orientation topic in Flow called Finding Your Way at Flinders. So this will kind of help you to navigate around your studies here with us, and you can find this by accessing the Flow page. So it's definitely worth exploring some of the resources available to you on there as well. And then we also have a wide range of support services available to help you succeed here at Flinders. So I'm going to finish by showing you this video, and then I will answer any questions that anybody has.
Imagine you've turned up to uni for the first time. It can be a little daunting. Where do you go and who do you go to for help? Flinders University has a lot of services to help you on your journey. Sometimes, uni will feel fun and easy. At other times, it can seem challenging. Flinders Connect is there to answer any questions and point you in the right direction. Flinders Connect can also assist you with enrolment, class registration, fees, scholarships, and general information. When it's time to study, there's the Library and Student Learning Support Service. Library staff can help you navigate the wealth of information across 3 Flinders Library branches. If you need help with Flinders Learning Online, the library helps with that too. The Learning Lounge is available to help with academic writing, maths and statistics, referencing and English language support. You can also access Studiosity 24/7 for support with study and writing online. Everyone is welcome at FUSA, your student association. FUSA is home to the Student Council elected annually by students like yourself. It's their job to represent your rights and interests. They host lots of events on campus and are home to many clubs and societies for you to get involved in. FUSA also produces the student magazine Empire Times and offer free and confidential financial and academic advocacy. Flinders has more than 3,000 international students from over 80 different countries. International Student Services is the first point of contact for all onshore international students and offers a range of programs supporting your enrolment, study and social life. The Younger ND Student Engagement Team provides support for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander students. This includes academic, pastoral, financial support and advocacy, scholarships, orientation, a culturally safe study space, social activities and more. Looking after your mental and physical health is important. At Health, Counselling and Disability Services, students can access confidential appointments with qualified doctors, nurses, experienced counsellors and disability advisors. Oasis is a student wellbeing centre focused on supporting the social, spiritual, physical and emotional needs of all students. Careers and Employability connects you with industry, employers, career resources or advice and access to over 8,000 job opportunities each year. It also houses the Flinders Horizon Award program, providing unique opportunities and experiences to complement your studies. Let's keep in touch. Each week during term time, we send a newsletter called Ping, straight to your uni inbox. It's designed so you only see what's relevant to you. Let us know if you have any ideas or feedback to improve your experience at Flinders. The Student Ideas Gateway allows you to tell us how to help. To connect with any of the services mentioned, go to students.flinders.edu.au. Imagine you've turned up to uni.
Oops, we don't want to listen to that again. Okay. And so now we will get to our questions. So I've got a link here to the actual College of Education welcome video, and I'll share that in the discussion forum for you now. So I'm just going to come out of here now and come back to collaborate because I heard a few pings on the old discussion board, so let me answer those. Here is the link to the college welcome video that you'll also see me appearing in. Okay, I'm just going to answer questions. Okay, so Malky, how many attempts are given to pass? Okay, so for Landtight, you have 3 attempts to pass each test. Okay, you have to pay each time, so obviously it's worthwhile making sure you're prepared the first time. It's about $98 per test. If you like, you can study 1 test at a time, so you don't have to book in for both tests in the same couple of weeks. You could do the numeracy now if you feel confident with that, do the literacy towards the end of the year. Other way round, you could do the literacy now, numeracy at the end of the year. Whatever you feel is best for you, but 3 attempts to pass the Landtight tests. I think I just want to ask whether our lecture is going to be. So if you are enrolled, if you're a Masters of Teaching student and you are enrolled in EDUC 9137, we have a lecture together on Wednesday afternoon, checking my calendar for the time. It's 3 o'clock until 5 o'clock, probably won't go on that long. That will be online in Collaborate. Okay, so access the 9137 flow page, click on the Collaborate tool, and I will be in there giving you further information. So I will give you all the information you need for professional experience, including your working with children check, your responding to risk of harm, more information on immunisations. So there's no need to send any emails yet about any of that, any of those questions. Wait until you've had your first lecture with me and I will make everything very clear to you. And if you have questions after that, then let me know. Okay, so just wait for that first lecture before you email anyone with any questions relating to those items. Okay, so if you can't book into a class for any reason, it means that the class is full and you'll need to choose another option. There should be another option available to you. If there isn't, then you would need to send an Ask Flinders request. Okay, I can't book you into any classes. I don't have that level of authority all the time. So you will need to make sure that you send an Ask Flinders or contact Flinders Connect, and they will be able to help you there. No, it doesn't mean that you need to wait for another year to enroll in the course. You must study the topic this year. And we have, in most topics, we have an online option available. So you should be able to join the online option if nothing else. So you must study the topics that are in your study plan for this year, and an online option will be available for all students. So if you can't enroll in a class, online would be the way to go. Okay, they don't overlap, but you do have one after the other. So you're just going to have to get organized there with how that goes. And it might be that that doesn't happen every week, or that one is a lecture and one is a tutorial. So check your timetable each week because it can change. It might be that you have a lecture one week, but you don't have a lecture the next week. So double check, but it looks like they don't quite overlap. It just looks like you've got a bit of a busy morning and you'll be provided with breaks and time to eat. If you've got 2 classes that run at the same time, that is an issue and you will need to adjust your timetable. If your class is in a timetabled room, how do I know if classes will be held online or on campus? If they are, if your class is showing as timetabled in a particular room, then the chances are that you are on campus for that session. If it's showing as not timetabled in a particular room, or it is showing as online, then obviously that's online. I'm going to give you a link to this page. This is where you can look up all of your topic information. Okay, use this link, bookmark it. I use it all the time. You fill in the information on the left-hand side, so the subject and the topic number. You don't need any of the other boxes filled in. You literally just need to put in the subject, EDUC, and then the topic number, and it will tell you when the classes are and which ones are online and which ones are face-to-face. Okay. Other than that, you can either contact your tutor or your topic coordinator and they will clarify for you. Please don't email me asking when all your tutorials are unless I'm your topic coordinator. Okay. Email your topic coordinator to clarify or to double check. Jing, Study offshore. Perfect. Do I need to put my? Yes. Yeah. You can wait till you get here for your student card. Yes, you can. So you don't need your student card to access the library. You just need your FAN and password to access the library online. So yes, you can wait to get your student card when you arrive on campus, and you can use all of the other online facilities up until then. Okay. Any other questions? I'm so happy that everyone's been able to join us this morning. That's really helpful. Just making sure that I've answered everything. If anyone else has got a question, we've got a couple more minutes before the end of the session. If you want to ask me anything else, here is the link for Landtight if you would like to research further information on that today. Any other questions before we finish about something general or about your topics in particular? As I've said, look out for your flow pages will most likely open today. So look out for announcements from your topic coordinators that will tell you more information about the topic and about tutorials starting next week. Student Connect is open all the time, yeah. So you can contact the Flinders Connect anytime. I'll also send you, let me have a look. This one is also a helpful document to have. Here's a map of the campus. So when you get here, if you want to find your way around, the Lost on Campus app is also really helpful, but here's a map to link to the campus map as well. There isn't a bookstore on campus to buy any books, so no, you will have to source those yourself online. If you're studying either EDUC 9222 or if you're studying EDUC 1221, both of those topics are mine, you will need a textbook called The Child in Focus. And this is a really great book to have with for your studies this semester. So let me just send you a link to that. It's a very long link, but this is probably one of the cheapest places to buy it. So if you're studying one of the play topics this semester, approaches to play or researching play and pedagogies, that's the textbook that you'll need, and it's a really good book to have for all of your studies. So if you buy one book this semester, buy that one for my topic. Yes, I will share you the APA guide. See if I can find that for you. I think it's this one. So obviously books are going to take a week or two to arrive. So if you can order one of those today, you should have it by next week when your studies start. The next link there is the link to the referencing guide. So it's something to print and keep a copy of by your desk. Pin it on your wall or somewhere helpful so that you can refer to that. I'm always looking at that document. So it's definitely worth having a printed copy that you can keep next to you while you're writing your assignments. Accessing the recorded sessions, I think a recording will be made available for you on the Finding Your Way at Flinders Flow page. So go back, or you can click on the collaborate link again and you should be able to access this recording once the session is finished. So keep an eye on the Finding Your Way at Flinders Flow page. Okay, there's lots of helpful information on there to help you this semester, such as skill support, assessment, supporting everyone, health and well-being, planning for success, all of those things. So definitely worth keeping an eye on that flow page. And this week's really is your chance to orient yourself with all of your studies. So when you've got access to your flow pages, maybe look through one flow page a day this week. If you've got 4 topics, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, one day on one topic. So get your head into that flow page, into the topic information book, into the resources, into the requirements for week 1, into the readings. Most of you should be studying your readings before you come to class. So you'll need to start those this week. So log into the flow page and look at what the week 1 readings are and start to read some of those this week. So try as much as possible to get ahead this week so that you don't feel too overwhelmed when your classes start next week. Okay. Any final questions before we finish? See if anyone's sent me an email. So just to clarify, if you've got questions about some of the things that I've discussed in this lecture to do the requirements for placement, the responding to risk of harm, abuse and neglect, the working with children check, the immunisations, then you can ask those during our lecture that I have with you either this week or next week. Okay, so just wait for that lecture before you kind of ask any further questions for that one. How much attendance is required? We need you to be here as much as possible. So if you have a tutorial, you need to attend it. If you can't attend in person, then because you've got COVID symptoms or because you're feeling unwell, then an online option of the topic is generally available for you. So it's important that you know when that online option is running so that you can fall back onto that session if needed. And then making sure that you're attending all your tutorials. If you can't attend your tutorial, you need to contact your tutor and let them know, and they will give you some work to catch up on. But if you want to study a degree at uni, you have to come to uni. So no one gets a degree sitting at home. So the idea is that you've made a decision to invest your time in a degree at Flinders, and it means you have to turn up and to arrive and be present and to be learning as an adult learner for the next few years. Landtight has two options, Grace. It's not actually run by Flinders, it's run by the government, so it's a very separate requirement. And that's run by ACE. So you'll need to go to the ACE testing centre in the city, or you can do the remote proctoring, which is an option where you do the test at home, but you have to make sure that you haven't got a maths tutor sat next to you helping you answer all the questions. You have to evidence that before you start the tests. So yes, it's run not on campus, but in the city at the testing centre. Yes, is it possible to change some online classes into ones given? If there's room for you to swap around, then yes, you can move classes. Yes, so you'll need to go into student systems and move yourself. We don't do that for you. If a class says it's full, then you can't join that class, unfortunately. So if there's room in an online if there's room in an on-campus session, yes, you can join that. Will the lecture, Jing, I'm not sure what topic that's for, so you're going to have to let me know what topic you're talking about for that lecture next Monday. Classes are full, yeah. For 9222, I'm just moving a couple of those classes around. So it might be that some more options become available for you this week. Same with 1221. It might be that some people choose to move from the on-campus class to the online class. So keep an eye on the classes this week because there might be some movement in and out. Again, Jane, I'm not sure what topic that would be for. So I need to know what topic you're talking about, and then I can probably tell you whether it's online. Generally, lectures are being delivered via Collaborate. So the chances are that if it's a lecture, it will be on your flow page. It will not be face-to-face. Our lectures for EDUC 1221 undergraduates will be online. 1230, more likely online via Collaborate, yes. 9126, 9120. Again, I'm pretty sure that they will be online either via Collaborate or via a lecture recording, which is in the weekly module. But if you're unsure, put the question onto your flow page in the general discussions area. So every flow page has a discussion board. So pop your question on there and the topic coordinator will be able to reply to you this week, and then everyone will be able to see the answer. So any questions about lectures, whether they're online face-to-face, put them onto that flow discussion board and that will be answered for you. Okay. Yes, you must pass Landtight by the end of this year. So if you're doing a Masters of Teaching, the expectation is that you finish Landtight by the end of this year. And you won't want to do it next year anyway, because it's a very busy year and you don't really have time. So it's best to do Landtight this year if you're in the Masters of Teaching. If you're offshore, you'll need to wait until you arrive to do Landtight, and we can have a further discussion about that at a later date. Okay, I'm going to wrap up the session there because we've come to the end of our hour. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining me. And I look forward to seeing all your beautiful, happy faces either online on my laptop or in person within the next couple of weeks. And as I said, if you've got any questions, direct them to your tutor, the flow page, your topic coordinator, and we are here to help you. So thank you. I look forward to seeing you more this semester. And I wish you every success with your first semester of study with us. Thank you very much.